The perfect imperfect image. Oh my God, the money you can make if you can just master this. And you know what's funny is our whole industry, photo wise, like lenses, cameras, they're all going after this perfect image, this absolute edge to edge perfect image. And social media marketing is all about the opposite. They're looking for imperfect, for natural, for organic. You throw a perfect image up on an influencer's page, it will get less views and less likes than their iPhone photo like this. Guaranteed every single time. So my job today is to create the imperfect, perfect images. I'm not good at this. I've been a technical shooter for over 42 years. You know, when I do the imperfect image, my daughter looks at it and goes, wow, there's like grain in that, or it's not perfect. You know? But then if she posted a perfect image on her page, it will get so much less views than something organic and shot with an iPhone or a little pocket camera because people are looking for real on social media, and social media marketing is based around that real look. So if you can create and master that perfect imperfect image, you're going to get business from not only influencers, but the brands that market on social media, which is a lot. And social media marketing is expected to double over the next year. Is something to jump on if you haven't. That being said, I'm using the A7R V with the 40 millimeter f2.5 and the 24 millimeter f2.8 today. I'm using a handheld flash because I can control the look. I can give it that raw look, that deep shadow kind of look, or I can give it a softer kind of look. But I'm trying to create just that imperfect look for the images. It's going to be hard for me, but let's work on this together. The other thing is I just wanted to mention this bag again, the Wilton Craft. No, I'm I'm not trying to sell this to you, but I just want to almost a year ago, no, maybe less than a year ago, I mentioned this on my channel here because I loved it so much. It is the perfect bag for me. It's small. I can fit the Sony A7R V, the two lenses, and I tightly fit the flash in here. It's all cramped in, but I don't care because I love the bag that much that I want to carry this all the time. It just feels good, looks good. It's my favorite bag of all time. They just sent me another one. I'm trying to use it, but I can't like take my gear out of this. Whether I'm using the Hasselblad, the Sony, or the Leica, I'm using this bag. I love it that much. This strap, they asked me what I think needs to be changed in their bags, and I said, this shoulder pad needs to stick to my shoulder rather than falling off. They put the best rubber on here ever, and I absolutely love this bag. It is quite arguably the perfect bag I've ever had for photo. Now, listen, I'm using small gear and small lenses, so it fits in here. If you have big gear, big lenses, it's not going to fit in here. But if you have a smaller camera, smaller lenses, this is the bag. Trust me, when you get it, you will thank me. I promise you. I'll leave the link in the description below, or you can just go to Wotan Craft, whatever you want to do. And this is the little piece I got with it to hang on that I put my batteries in here or SD cards. I love it. Anyway, thanks for watching as always. Let's get to the shoot and see if we can create this perfect, imperfect image throughout this whole shoot. And I'm going to actually try Capture One for the first time on the iPad with the Sony. I can't use it on Hasselblad. They don't work with Hasselblad files and the first time I ever used it was the Fuji. I used it for like 3 seconds and went right back to Lightroom because I couldn't be bothered at that time, and that was years ago. But this time I'm actually going to put my whole shoot through Capture One and see if I like it. Anyway, thanks for watching. Let's get to the shoot and see how we do. So really quick, at the end, I'm going to have a little birthday shoot with her in the studio. I just want to let you know if you want to stay around and watch that. But as far as the shoot goes throughout the building, now the first thing that surprised me was I used that 24 millimeter for most of the shots. And I didn't think I would be doing that. I have the 40 in the bag. That's the only reason I'm carrying my bag is because I figured, oh, I'm just going to do a couple with the 24 and then I'm going to switch out to the 40. But I was loving the 24 so much that I couldn't take it off the camera. I do use it later in the shoot. I'll tell you when I'm using it, but the 24 this was a blast. I'm a 28 shooter. Once in a while I'll pull out a 24, but this lens, the lightweight, the small size of it, it's a 2.8. I don't care. It's 24 millimeter. I'm not looking for shallow depth of field. I loved it. Now, as far as the images are concerned, I think I'm much better than I was 6, 8 months ago. but I've been practicing a lot, and I still think I need a lot of work. Now, I've been doing commercial studio work for 42 plus years, and teaching an old dog new tricks, especially because I've been so ingrained with perfect images, perfect technical lighting for my commercial work, this is tough for me. This is a hump that I have to get over. Now, don't get me wrong. I am not displeased with these images. I think I did pretty good. I love some of these images. And more importantly, my client loved these images. I consistently throughout this shoot asked her to give me her feedback on the images on the back of the screen because I wanted her feedback. I want her input because if she doesn't like it, she's not hiring me again. And no matter what you photographers think, the client is the end result. If they don't like the images, they're not going to hire you again. You're not getting a paycheck. So their opinion matters more than yours, no matter what your artistic vision is. Now, if you're just doing this for you and for fun and you don't make money off of it, yeah, sure, you can stick to your guns and say, no, I'm not shooting like this or that because I have artistic talent. But for me, I like to get paid for my work. So their opinion means everything to me. Anyway, so this is where I switched over to the 40 millimeter, and I was missing the 24 as soon as I did. Don't get me wrong. I love the 40 millimeter. It's one of my favorite focal lengths, 40, 50. That's it for me. But I really do like that Sony 40 2.5. I think it's a great little lens. I have a big trip coming up to South Korea in a couple days, and I'm taking the 40 and the 24 and the Sony flash. That's it. Now, I did use the Sony flash throughout this whole thing because I didn't want to have to think or make changes or anything like that. I'm using it in TTL. Now, this one here, I'm shooting at ISO 200. I like that wall to come out more, so I'm going to raise my ISO for some of these because I want more of the environment light coming in. But this is the other thing. I was in the elevator. The first time I was in the elevator, you saw I had a wide shot. With the 40, I'm tight because I'm all the way in the corner. Again, there's nothing wrong with the 40 or the 24, but I was just really surprised on how much I use the 24 for these type images. I think it made it a little bit easier for me to get the looks that she was looking for. Influencers and social media in general are so used to seeing iPhone photos or, cell phone photos, that wider look, that wider lens that they're looking for, and that's what they're expecting for these type images. Now, the goal isn't to be hired by influencers themselves. It's to be hired by the clients who hire influencers because they want professional shots done organically that don't look like professional shots to showcase their products because they want to be consistent with their feeds. And if you know how to do this, it's great. By the way, I just put my flash in the corner over there on a frame or something. That's what that uplight was. That was the first time and only time I didn't handhold the flash because I just saw a little ledge, so I put it on there. Anyway, around the building shots, I'm happy with them, but I do need practice with this. I can make lighting and cameras talk in the studio because I've been doing it for so long. It's so ingrained in me. But something like this, even though I'm getting a little bit better at it, I still need practice. And the only way to get that practice is to get out there and shoot. And I'm telling you right now, there's a big commercial market for this type of photography if you know how to do it and if they like the look that you can present. It's not easy for somebody that does studio work like I've been doing it for so long. Now, we're back in the studio. I wanted to do her birthday shoot. She brought a cake, that's what's on her foot, and some candles, and then she brought Cheetos, believe it or not, which was kind of fun. But you did the inside shoot. I tried to make this a little bit more organic looking, and I went right back to I need perfect lighting. I'm using the 24 again, and this really surprised me because I'm in the studio using a 24 millimeter. I really love it. Just surprised on how much I love it for people. I'm a 28 shooter. I love the 28 because I have the Leica with a 28 millimeter. I think it's fantastic. I just don't shoot or haven't shot 24 millimeter very often at all over the 40 plus years. I've used them before, but it was just for the group shot. And then I went back to whatever I was using. I'm a 40, 50 millimeter shooter. But man, did I love this lens. And I think I'm going to be using it quite a bit more. Now, this is that 24 millimeter 2.8, that little one that Sony put out. I love it. It does have barrel distortion that's corrected in camera, so your edges are going to be softer. But As far as looking at the images, again, I'm not looking for perfect for this type shoot. I'm just looking for, images that please the client. I'm kind of happy with them. So I don't have to worry about that 24. And a 2.8 doesn't bother me at all. I'm not looking for shallow depth of field on a 2.8 lens ever. I don't need it. But then, I don't look for shallow depth of field on a 50 either. So anyway, this was fun in studio. Like, we had a blast with this. She had fun. She ripped apart the cake, ate Cheetos, a fun birthday shoot for her, and it was a great ending to the day. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the shoot. I hope you enjoyed the images. I'm trying to get better with this, and I'm sure with a little bit more practice, I'll get to where I need to be. Thanks for watching as always.